Hello there, lads and lassies. Welcome to Scottish Geeks. My name is Derek, and I just want to talk a little bit about this Article 13 thing that's going about right now. This Save Your Internet hashtag that's going about on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and everywhere else just now. I've got some notes down here in front of me that are actually from YouTube that I'd like to read out to you as we're going along with this. Now, from what I can tell, Article 13 is one of those good idea, bad idea situations where the European Union has come up with a way of ensuring that copyright holders get the money they deserve, but instead of getting it from folk like us, where we could get strikes and things like that, they're getting it from the likes of YouTube themselves and stuff like that. But YouTube does not see that as a sustainable, format. So instead of, making sure that people adhere to copyright law, they have got this thing where they're saying that, if we can't make a deal with it, then Europe's just not going to have YouTube, basically. And when I say that, I don't mean we're not going to have YouTube. What I mean is they have stated that our videos will all be blocked worldwide until we can prove beyond a reasonable doubt, through law, that we own our own content. And even then, we may not even be allowed to upload videos as well. This, to me, screams off, we don't want to pay money, so you guys are going to suffer from it unless you do what we want. But I'm not going to speculate too much. What we're going to do here is I'm going to read through this article here. You'll still see my face, etc., because I can't be bothered editing this too much, because I don't want to get in trouble for it, because I don't want to use screenshots for them in case I get in trouble. Article 13, as written by the European Parliament, will have serious unintended consequences for everyone. Let's come together for a better solution. Let's do that. Let's maybe not use other people's copyrighted content and stuff like that. And by that, I don't mean things like reviews and things like that. We use short clips to show what you're talking about. I'm talking about the people who blatantly put up full episodes of TV shows, things like that. Those people should be punished for it. Not reviewers, not people who do articles like this, not people who talk about stuff, not people who play video games. Video games, they allow this. If they don't allow it, they should state it. Okay? Anywho, let's move on. Okay. Article 13. There is a better way. Article 13 is part of the European copyright legislation created with the intent to better protect creativity and find effective ways for copyright holders to protect their content online. Again, you see what I mean, though? It's not a bad idea. It's a great idea for copyright holders. It's a bad idea on YouTube, where there are so many companies who put out so many fake copyright claims and so many different accounts. These people should be banned. And I'm looking at you, Orchard Music. I'm looking at you, Merlin Music. I'm looking at most of the people who claim copyright on music things. I'm looking at those networks out there who claim videos, and yes, this is a recent thing that's happened to me, where my Lucius videos were claimed because one of the networks, I think it was one of the Asian networks, I can't remember where exactly from, had actually put a copyright thing, was a third-party copyright claim on one of my Lucius videos because one of their members had put out a Lucius video with the same content in it. I looked through their video, it wasn't even exactly the same as mine, it had nothing to do with mine, we both went in different directions in the game, and yet that network, my gods, my words are coming out wrong today, they did this copyright claim, so I actually got in contact with the person themselves. It was just like, oh, it's my network, they do what they like, so luckily it was all sorted out in the end. But anyway, moving on. Yeah, folk like that should be punished. We support the goals of Article 13, but the version written by the European Parliament could have serious unintended consequences that could change the web as we know it. There is a better way. Learn more and make your voice heard. Okay, so learn more and make your voice heard. That seems to be the thing of the day. Why don't YouTube make their voice heard? Why don't YouTube fix things properly so that people don't do clickbait because they're not getting views? So that people don't do copyright nonsense. Make it clear. Make it clear that your copyright system works. Okay? Fix that copyright system, because I don't put up copyright content. I never have and never will put up copyrighted content. And yet I get hit with copyright claims left, right and centre on both my channels from networks and these really stupid people who think they can just claim videos willy-nilly because they can put their name on them. You know, that's it. Fix that. We won't have a problem with anything to do with the copyright. Let's read the FAQs in here. More questions? Read the FAQs. Okay, what is Article 13? Article 13 is one part of a proposed European Union copyright legislation created with the intent to better protect creativity and find effective ways for copyright holders to protect their content online. To be clear, we support the goals of Article 13 and its push to help creatives and artists succeed. We want more effective ways for copyright holders to protect their content, but Article 13, as written by the European Parliament, will have serious unintended consequences for everyone, so we're asking for a better way forward. So what is the status of Article 13? On September the 12th, the European Parliament voted to move forward with Article 13. However, Article 13 is not yet a law. The language is being drafted and revised in the EU trilogue negotiations between representatives from the European Commission, Parliament and Council. The language could be finalised by the end of next year, and EU member states may have up to 2 years to incorporate the directive into national law. That is plenty of time for YouTube to fix its copyright system in order to make it a fair and just system for people to actually work with and use, to get rid of these copyright claimants who are just not really working with the system properly and making it worse for everyone else. Fix the system. We don't need to fix anything. Fix the system. Get rid of those people who are flaunting the copyright rules just because they're making you a bit of money. And you know who we're talking about. There are a lot of bigger YouTubers out there who flounce the copyright rules so much. Okay, what changes with Article 13 here? The proposed version of Article 13 would eliminate the existing notice and takedown system currently in place to protect rights holders and platforms. This would make platforms such as YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud, Dailymotion, Reddit and Snapchat liable at the moment of upload for any copyright infringement in uploads from users, creators and artists. This in turn would mean that platforms including YouTube would be forced to block the vast majority of uploads from Europe and views from Europe for content uploaded elsewhere, given the uncertainty and complexity of copyright ownership. Or you could just have the system in place where a video can be uploaded but must have, you know, a certain amount of time before it can be made public. You know, if there is a copyright issue with it, the video is just not made public and the person has to appeal it. That's the way I'd do it. You know, fix your copyright system first. And then make sure, for example, only in the EU, and I know it might seem like a drag, but we have to maybe upload videos as unlisted or private until the copyright system has determined whether they can be uploaded properly. If that so happens, we have an option to maybe click something that says automatically upload when copyright has been cleared. Sound good? That's how I'd do it. I don't know. Anyway, what will be the impact if the European Parliament version of Article 13 passes? The risks associated with accepting content uploads with partial or disputed copyright information would be far too large for platforms such as YouTube. As a result, YouTube would be forced to block millions of videos, existing and new ones, in the European Union. It could drastically limit the content that one can upload to the platform in Europe. Creators would be hit especially hard. Videos that could be blocked include educational videos from channels such as, I can't pronounce that name, in Germany, and CGP Grey in the UK. A large number of official music videos like Despacito from Luis Fonsi or Mafioso from L'Artiste, fan music covers, mashups, parodies and more. As such, Article 13 threatens hundreds of thousands of jobs, European creators, businesses, artists and everyone they employ. This has been happening for months now. Not just that, but with certain aspects of, certain aspects of what's been happening online. For example, there is an app that I used to use called Stardust, which I can no longer use because the European Union deemed it as an unsuitable application for the UK and Europe. Now, this may not actually be something that's going to be a bit of a problem for the UK for very long, unless, of course, our government decides to say, oh, I don't know, hold on to some of the legislations that the European Union has put up over recent years instead of, chucking them out the window. So the UK at the moment is in a bit of a flux state because of the whole Brexit deal. Anyway, moving on here. What does this mean for me as a YouTube creator or artist in the European Union? YouTube and other platforms may have no choice but to block your existing videos and prevent you from uploading new ones in the European Union unless you can prove that you own everything in your videos, including visuals and sounds. Again, I don't use copyrighted content. Everything I get, music-wise, footage-wise, things like that, is all stuff that I have permission to use. However, I'm still going to have to prove that, which means channels like mine, even channels like PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, things like that, they're all going to get blocked. However, I don't actually see that happening. And what I see happening is all the smaller channels getting blocked, and the bigger channels who have already got, massive amounts of support from YouTube are going to be absolutely fine. That's just the way I see it. What does this mean for me as a YouTube creator or an artist not in the European Union? YouTube and other platforms are likely to block your videos, including existing ones to users in the European Union, if there's partial or disputed copyright information. So basically, this is going to be a worldwide problem. So we're basically going to have no YouTube. Those of us who use YouTube as a means of escape, as a means to communicate with the outside world, are going to have nothing. Basic terms. This is a lot of scaremongering nonsense. This has to do with YouTube's copyright system in and of itself, of the other sites' copyrighted systems. These should have been in place years ago. That's all there is to it. What types of copyrighted content would I not be able to use in my videos? Examples of copyright material that might be affected in your videos include images, artwork, software, excerpts from books, music, parodies, and much more. There's a big list of stuff. You guys should check it out. I'll put a link in the description as to where you can find all this information out. Why aren't copyright matching tools like Content ID enough? With Article 13 as currently written, copyright matching tools like Content ID wouldn't help platforms such as YouTube to keep content on the platform. Content ID works if right holders use and provide clarity as to what belongs to them. However, in many cases, information on copyright ownership is missing, or there is partial knowledge, meaning that no system could accurately identify full copyright information on the point of upload. Put simply, a piece of content with partial or unknown ownership is, to YouTube, treated the same as a piece of content that is unlicensed, and so would have to be blocked. If you want your videos to go up, don't use unlicensed content, basically. This is something that you should know. This is YouTube 101. Do not use things that don't belong to you. It's simple. Is there a better way forward with Article 13? Yes, we're asking lawmakers to find a better balance. We all need to protect against copyright violations and still enable European users, creators and artists to share their voices online. In order to do that, we need a system where both platforms and right holders collaborate. What this means in reality is three things. Right holders should work with the platforms to identify the content they own so the platforms know what is protected under copyright and can give rights holders control to block content if they choose. Platforms should only be held liable for content identified to them using tools like Content ID or through notice and takedown. Platforms and rights holders should negotiate in good faith where licenses and rights can be easily identified. The thing about the Content ID thing is, it is a broken system. People are using it to make money. That's all there is to it. There is a new system in place where if you dispute your case, the other people don't make money, the money is held by YouTube, etc. Not that I actually make any money off of YouTube, but you know what I'm talking about. So it seems to be less and less, but there are still companies out there who do it because not a lot of people read these articles. These things need to be made clear, concise, pushed forward to the people who are joining YouTube for the first time. They need to know what they can and cannot do, and they must read and tick every box before they are allowed to use a platform. For those of us who already use a platform, we pretty much know what we're doing. But for those people who are starting up a new YouTube channel, or maybe don't know what the hell they're doing, they could be kids that don't realise what they're doing is wrong. They need to know what it is they should be doing. And on all honesty, and I'm sorry for anyone who's younger out there, the age for being a YouTube creator should be increased. And I don't mean like over 30s and things like that. I'm talking at the moment it's 13 and up, and there's still kids younger than that using it. I think the age limit should be maybe 16 to 18 and over for uploading content to YouTube. If you've got parents who want to upload content to YouTube and allow you to use the channel, fine. But there should be something in place that stops, like, you know, young children from doing it, because they are going to be the biggest problem in terms of copyright. You know, all four of them having their own channels. My nephew's got his own channel. I know someone else's kid's got a channel who's doing excessively well with it, Ethan Gamer. But at the moment, there's no education for it, for this whole copyright thing. If you want to stop this problem with the copyright thing, you need to start making sure that people know what you're talking about. Okay, there's only a couple more bits here. So, what can I do to find a better way forward with Article 13? European representatives are still working on the final version of Article 13. There is time to work together towards a better path forward. The European policymakers involved in negotiating Article 13 need to hear and see that real people could be negatively impacted if Article 13 goes into effect, as written by the Parliament. That's why we need you and your fans to make your voice heard now. Make a video about Article 13. Ta-da! Tweet about Article 13 with the hashtag SaveYourInternet, and join the movement at YouTube/SaveYourInternet. What is up with other players? Is YouTube alone in this fight? The Copyright Directive won't just affect creators and artists on YouTube, it will also apply to many forms of user-generated content uploaded onto other platforms across the internet. We already know that. Many of the other people are raising concerns too, individuals, organisations like European Digital Rights and Internet Archive, companies like Reddit, Patreon, WordPress, Medium. The Internet's original architects and pioneers like Sir Tim Berners-Lee and the UN Special Rapporteur for Free Expression have spoken out, and creators across the Internet are standing up for their right to create and express themselves, including Philip DeFranco, LaFloyd, and Toju's Jutro, whoever that is. So yeah, do stand up, do say something, make your points clear, make your points heard, especially if you live in the UK and Europe at the moment. Say what you want from this. Okay? But don't think it's all your fault. If you're one of these people like myself who follows the rules of YouTube, still gets nowhere, but who cares, but follows the rules of YouTube and will be affected negatively by something like this, say something. Okay? Don't just sit back. Do something. Make a video like I'm doing. Explain yourself. Explain what you think of the whole thing. I think Article 13, like I said, is a good idea, bad idea situation. It's a good idea to protect copyright holders. It is a bad idea lumping everyone in and tarring them with the same brush. It's a bad idea to force companies to do this. It's also insanity in some cases. So, which countries would be directly impacted by Article 13? Well, all member states of the EU. That's Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Republic of Cyprus, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, Netherlands, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, and the UK, at least for now. Unless the whole Brexit thing happens. Excuse me. So we'll just have to wait and see what's going to happen with that. And there are a lot of common misunderstandings about Article 13, but you can read about that by going to the link I'm putting in the description below. Anyway guys, my question for you today is, what do you think about Article 13? What are you going to do about it if you are a YouTuber or someone who enjoys watching YouTube videos, especially someone who enjoys watching European YouTube videos? And what do you think YouTube and creators could do to make this transition, if it does happen, better on themselves? I've given my own points, you give me some of yours. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time, but until then, bye-bye.